The station hung above the red dwarf star like a shard of glass. Trade ships drifted in and out of its docking rings. Species from 100 systems walked its silver corridors. Some came for profit, some came for peace, some came to prove they were stronger than everyone else. Miraholt came because her mother had signed a contract. Humans were new to the wider galaxy. They were labeled Deathworlders. In every registry, high gravity, violent storms, predators with forward eyes, a world that tried to kill its children every season. Most species found that amusing or terrifying, or both. Mira was 16 standard cycles, old, small by human measure, very small by galactic measure. Her dark hair was tied back. Her station uniform hung loose on her shoulders. She walked with the calm balance of someone raised under heavy gravity. The first week on the station, she noticed the stares. Tall insectoid merchants clicked their mandibles, scaled traders flicked their tails, soft-bodied scholars whispered. Through translator Stethel, fragile mammal primitive Mira ignored them. Her mother had told her to observe first and speak second. Strength did not always need noise. The bully found her on the 10th day. His name was Krezik of the Vorthan clade. Vorthans were broad and tall, for arms, thick-plated skin, the color of rust, eyes like burning coals. They came from a world of crushing gravity and endless war. They respected dominance, and Krezik liked spectacle. He cornered a small avian courier near Dock Ring 3. The courier had dropped a crate. Shards of crystalline data rods scattered across the floor. Krezik laughed in a harsh metallic rasp. He pressed one heavy foot on the courier's wing. The avian trembled. Other beings slowed, but did not interfere. Mira stepped between them. "Remove your foot," she said. Her voice was steady, clear, not loud. Krezik tilted his head. His translator buzzed as it processed her words. "You are the human child," he said. The gravity Petha avian looked at Mira with wide black eyes. Mira did not look away from Krisakromov. "Your foot," she said. Again the corridor felt smaller. Quieter. Krezik leaned down until his face was close to hers. His breath smelled of iron ore. What he asked, Mira considered her answer. Her mother had told her that threats should never be empty and never be repeated. "We'll warn you once," she said. "If you continue, you will regret it." Krezik barked a laugh. A deep booming sound that echoed off the metal walls. "Regret from you," he pressed harder on the courier's wing. A sharp crack sounded. The avian cried out. Something inside Mira shifted. Not anger, not fear, something colder. She moved. To most species, it looked like a blur. To Mira, it felt simple. She stepped forward, grabbed Krezik's lower wrist, twisted. There was a grinding snap. One of his forearms hung at an unnatural angle. Krezik roared. The sound shook the lights. Above, gasps rippled through the corridor. Mira released him and pulled the courier free. She guided the trembling avian behind. "Harry warned you," she said. Krezik's remaining hands clenched. Pain twisted his face into fury. "You break my limb," he snarled. "I will break your spine." He lunged. Vorthans were strong, but they were adapted to their own gravity on the station. The gravity was set to galactic standard, lower than Earth, lower than Vorth 4. Mira, it felt like a gentle breeze. Krez swung a massive fist. Mira ducked the strike, dented the wall. She drove her shoulder into his torso. The impact lifted him off his feet. Gasps turned into shouts. Krezik crashed onto the floor. The deck plating buckled. Mira stood over him. "Stop," she said. For a moment, he hesitated. Shock flickered across his eyes. Then pride burned it away. He slammed his palm against a device on his belt. A sphere the size of a fist rolled onto the floor. Between them, several beings screamed and scattered. Mira recognized a grenade. She had seen videos in Earth history archives. She had trained in emergency response drills. The sphere began to pulse with red light. Krasik rolled away, laughing despite his broken armlet. Us, see how Deathworld flesh handles. Vorthan plasma, he shouted. Time slowed. Mira did not think about fear. She did not think about pain. She thought about the avian behind her, about her mother working 2 sectors away, about the quiet hope humans carried into this vast galaxy. She stepped forward, picked up the grenade. The heat burned her palm. The casing vibrated. She squeezed on Earth. Her grip strength was average on the station. It was monstrous metal, shrieked. The sphere cracked. Energy spilled out in a blinding flash. For a heartbeat, the corridor vanished in white. Then came smoke. Thick black smoke rolled across the ceiling. Alarms wailed when the air cleared. Mira was still standing. Uniform's sleeve was scorched. Her hand was red and blistered, but she stood. Krasik did not wear. He had been there was only a dark scorch mark and drifting. Asher silence fell heavier than gravity. Security drones rushed in, hovering with blue lights flashing. Mira lifted her injured hand slowly. He deployed an explosive, she said. I neutralized. Either voice did not shake. The drones scanned the area, collected data, recorded every angle. Medical staff hurried to the avian courier, to Myra's. They wrapped her hand in cooling gel. The corridor filled with whispers. She crushed plasma. She stood at the center of detonation. The Vorthon vanished within hours. The footage spread across the station network. Within days it spread beyond. Humans were not fragile. They were not pets. They were not primitives. They were survivors of a world that forged strength in bone and nerve. The Vorthon Clade demanded investigation. They claimed dishonor. They claimed murder. The station council reviewed every recording, every sensor log. They saw Krasik activate the grenade. They saw Myra crush it. They saw the energy backlash consume him. Self-defense, the council declared. The avian courier visited Myra 2 days later. His wing was bound in a light cast. His feathers shimmered with nervous gratitude. You stood when others did not, he said. Mira shrugged gently. He was hurting you, she replied. Many hurt the small, the avian said. Few intervene. Word traveled faster than trade routes. So the species began to watch Mira differently, not with mockery, not with fear, alone with calculation. Delegation from the Vorthon Clade arrived a week later. 3 towering warriors in ceremonial armor. They requested audience. Mira stood beside her mother in the council chamber, her bandaged hand resting at her side. The lead Vorthon stepped forward. Krasik acted without honor, he said. He chose spectacle over discipline. He brought shame upon our name. His gaze fixed on Myra. You warned him. Yes, Myra said. He ignored you. Yes, the Vorthon inclined his head slightly on. Our world warnings are sacred. To ignore one is to accept the consequence. Murmurs spread through the chamber. The Vorthon continued. Are young, yet you stand with the gravity of a warrior. The Clade will not seek vengeance. He paused. Instead, we seek understanding. Myra blinked. Understanding. Your species is new, he said, yet you carry storms in your blood. Perhaps there is value in alliance, rather than rivalry. Her mother looked at her, pride shining in her eyes. Myra thought of the corridor, of the grenade in her palm, of the choice to stand. We prefer friends, she said, but we will defend ourselves. The Vorthon gave a low rumble that might have been approval. That is clear. After that day, the whispers changed. Warder became a title spoken with respect. Dockworkers nodded as Myra passed. Merchants offered fair prices. Even the towering Vorthons gave her space. She did not seek fame. She returned to her studies, to helping her mother, to exploring the vast station. Yet something had shifted. Humans were no longer curiosities. They were variables, forces to consider. One evening, Myra stood at an observation window. The red dwarf star burned beyond the glass. Ships glided like sparks across its glow. Her mother joined her. You did well, she said softly. Broke someone, she replied. Do defended someone. Mira watched the distant ship sigh. Warned him, her mother nodded. And you meant it. Mira flexed her healing hand. The skin was tender, but strong on earth storms, carved mountains. On the station, a single act carved. Perception. She did not enjoy what had happened, but she did not regret it. Somewhere in the galaxy others would test humanity. They would laugh, they would underestimate him. If they ignored a warning, they would learn. The station continued its endless motion around the star. Trade resumed. Voices filled the corridors, but in Dock Ring 3 there remained a faint dark mark on the deck plating. A reminder. A Deathworld girl had spoken once. She had been clear, she had been calmed. The bully had laughed then. He vanished in smoke.